So welcome back guys. As we have seen uh, four parts of the chapter, now we are moving towards the next slide. It is industrial society and social changes. Now 18th and 19th centuries, here we can see major changes were there in society. Industrial society revolution was there, due to which progress was there in Russia and other European countries. But what are the problems of this industrialization? The major problem of the industrialization was urbanization. Now, as we have seen, industries were in pockets, and most of the Moscow and St. Petersburg, there were industries in those cities, and due to which urbanization it became a huge problem for them. Factories were there, then machines were there, new social class was emerged, uh, hygiene problem was there as the cities were crowded. There was a hygiene problem in the city, slum areas were developed, and so many problems were there. One more problem is what? Unskilled labor was also there, uneducated and unskilled labor. Most of the factory owners were capitalist. Workers, those who work in factories, their working condition was very poor. Production was increased, but problem was what? Poverty was there and inequality was there. Inequality in what sense? There is difference between the labor. Low wages were there, hygiene was not there, poor living conditions were there. These were the problems. Now what changed there? What social changes were there? Traditional communities broke down. Workers lived in poor conditions, as we have discussed. Child labor was the problem there. Long working hours were there. Unemployment. Unemployment when there is slack season, it creates employment. For example, say in summer season, ice cream factories were there. Demand was at peak, and due to which they need workers in factory. But as the slack season of ice cream, what happens? There is low demand for ice cream, and so they used to lay off the workers from their factory, and so it creates the problem of unemployment. And one more problem that we have discussed, that is low wages, which were common in all over Russia. Now the next slide, which will move. Now here we can see different figures. Robert Owen, new socialist were there. He was an English manufacturer, and here what he wants to build a cooperative community, and he built it in USA, named as New Harmony in Indiana. Now the next socialist was Louis Blanc. What he wanted? He wanted government to encourage cooperatives and replace capitalist enterprise. Now encourage cooperatives means what? Ki cooperatives will be established, but government should encourage them by giving some incentives, by promoting them, and other things. Now these cooperatives were to be associations of people. Means what? Common people will be the members of those cooperatives. They will produce goods together and divided the profits. What happens earlier? Industrialists made profits and they become rich. But here, what he wanted? He wanted them to produce goods together and divide the profit among themselves. Now, is it happened today? Definitely. Different companies are listed in market, and what they used to do? Every quarter they declare their results, financial results. At the end of quarter 4, they used to give some, they show whole year profit, and then from that profit they took out some part and divided it into the, or distributed it into the shareholders. That is called as dividend. So that idea was taken from there. Now as we move next, major figure is there in front of you, that is Karl Marx. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. What they wanted, what they have seen, इंडस्ट्रियल सोसाइटी जो थी ना, इट वॉज अ कैपिटलिस्ट सोसाइटी. कैपिटलिस्ट owned the capital. The profit of capitalist was produced by workers. See, workers work in the factory and they produce profits. But the condition was what? That profit was owned by, the full profit goes into the account of capitalist. Now the condition of workers improved, no improvement was there. Profit was accumulated by the private capitalist. Workers had to overthrow capitalism and rule private property. What he wants to do? He wants to inspire the workers to overthrow this capitalism and rule the private property, that is public property. Means what? In short, what he wants to say? The industries will be of public. Then what he said? What he wants? To free themselves from capitalist exploitation, workers had to conduct a radically socialist society. As per his opinion, if they want to overthrow capitalist or if they want to free themselves from capitalist exploitation, what they need to do? They need to construct a society. What type of society? Radically socialist society. And only at that time, this would be the communist society. The radically society means what? It will be the communist society. And what was the communist society? It was the natural society of the future, as per his opinion. Now, as we move towards the next slide, now here you can see support for socialism. What support they got for socialism? Ideas spread through Europe. International bodies were formed. This you can see one of the international body in this below picture. Then which was named as Second International, forming associations to fight for better living and working conditions. Why these associations are formed? Actually, for the better living conditions and working conditions. As we have seen, the working conditions very poor, living quarters very poor. They need to live in dormitories and or maybe one room. What actually demanded? It demanded the reduction of working hours. What were the demands of this socialist or these people, workers? They demanded less working hours, reduction of working hours, and right to vote. Now in Germany, these associations work closely with Social Democratic Party, SPD. You can see here on the above picture, Social Democratic Party. In France, trade unionists formed Labour Party in Britain and a Socialist Party in France. So this was the logo of Socialist Party in France. You can see here. So in this way, we need to stop here today. That is sufficient for today. We'll